You're listening to DraftKings Network.
You know that sound. It's the sound of money hitting your Venmo account, a friend paying you back, or maybe it's getting cash back from your favorite business when you pay with the Venmo debit card, or it's realizing you can pay with Venmo at checkout at thousands of brands. Now, there are so many more ways to answer the question, what's your Venmo? Download Venmo today. The Venmo MasterCard is issued by the Bancorp Bank N.A. pursuant to license by MasterCard International Incorporated. Dosh Cashback terms apply.
You know what's smart? Enjoying a fresh gourmet meal at home that you didn't have to cook. Meet Factor, your loophole in the laws of mealtime. Chef-crafted meals delivered with a tap, ready in just 2 minutes. You know what's even smarter? Treating yourself without cheating your goals. Factor is dietitian approved, chef prepared, and you plated. Pretty smart, huh? Refresh your routine and eat smart with Factor. Learn more at factormeals.com.
This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz Podcast.
Greg, I'm going to do the rare thing of asking you to take your headsets off. You're ready to go, but I'm a little worried about today, Amin, because Greg Cote is sick. And I don't think he looks good. I don't think he sounds good. He's coughing. It brought back an earlier time at the beginning of the pandemic. I'm feeling a bit haunted. Greg, to me right now, looks physically haunting in a way that reminded me at the... And he sounds it. He sounds bad. This is not good.
Like Vincent Price.
I'm giving you my all.
I appreciate it, and I don't mean to mock this, but I actually had the exchange with Greg when I walked in where his son is asking him, have you been in makeup? And he says yes, and I had open-mouthed shock because I'm like, did they embalm him? Like I don't know what happened here, but he looks pale and he's giving off haunted, and when he laughs, he coughs, and when he coughs, he laughs. So we're in for one today, is all I'm saying.
Yeah, my voice is not my own. The voice I hear in my ear sounds several octaves lower, and I don't know what to do about it.
Can we agree that sick voice is a very cool voice?
Why would the headphones being off help?
It is a sexy
voice.
Well,
I wanted Lewis. I told him right before we started, I said, Lewis, make sure to get his hair. Do a close-up. I want a close-up on his hair because he doesn't look like he's been in hair and makeup, does he? Unless there are things happening in hair and makeup here like in Fox Sports.
Oh! Cheap shot.
Closer, please.
The sexy sick voice, right? Like we all wish we could have that voice all the time. Like, I'm feeling
baby.
under the weather.
Put it on the poll. Do you love your sick voice? I don't believe that is actually a thing.
It's a thing.
All right, well, okay. We'll get to all of this in a second because it's a Greg Cote Thursday, and I am actually thrilled. You can put your headsets back on. Thank you, Greg. I am actually thrilled that he's in with us. I don't know how medicated he is, but he seems a little off, and that's always good when Greg Cote's a little off.
How can you tell?
I'm a little medicated.
Okay, excellent. We'll take this wherever it ends up. The thing that I have a tension with, though, that is problematic is, and Lucy, I'm sorry for this. When I started in sports radio, one of our initial influences, the people who created this radio show, was that in South Florida, there was a Neil Rogers on the sports station, and he was making fun of the sports station and what the sports station was doing. And at the time, it was because it's the only other time in South Florida sports history that we've had in front of us what we presently have. Back then, it was Dan Marino and Jimmy Johnson. So it became a bit that anytime you turned on your radio, all you heard was Jimmy and Danny and Danny and Jimmy and Jimmy and Danny. And now it's Jimmy and Riley and Jimmy and Riley and Jimmy and Jimmy and Riley. And it's because nothing like this has been in this town before. And the thing that I wanted to ask, because I've got a tension, I know Greg Cote has a ton of opinions. I know this show has a ton of opinions. There hasn't been anything like this in South Florida where the power of Pat Riley butts heads with Shaq, and Shaq loses, and Shaq's like, security is here, and Shaq, you leave. Like, we're not doing it your way, Shaq. Get out of here. If you don't want to try and practice, you can go. Wade at the end. The things that Gilbert Arenas is criticizing. Hey, Riley shouldn't be in charge there because Riley thinks he's in charge because Riley's always been in charge. But now, What's right in front of you, I'm sure Greg Cote has a million opinions on. I am sure that Jeremy right now is gathering a roundtable of millions of people to put on somewhere on this show, Jimmy and Riley and Jimmy and Riley and Jimmy. The thing I wanted to ask the group before we get to Greg Cote's Thursday takes that he wanted to give Tuesday, that he wanted to give 5 days ago, but he's been too sick to do it. We've got a South Beach session today coming out with Pat Riley, but it was done 6 weeks ago.
Huh.
Good timing. The least timely South Beach sessions in history.
Or perhaps the most timely.
Yeah. Except you don't, unless you are particularly prescient with your questions, you don't ask Pat Riley about the one thing that people would want him to talk about. But I bet it's a great SBS.
But
don't get me wrong.
Pat Riley usually takes any opportunity in front of a microphone to say something that you can take out of context.
That's true. That is true.
So, do you think, and let me get out in front of this and say shame on you if you try to take any of this interview out of context, especially to get extra eyes on this great episode that we are presently promoting on the lower third with a graphic on DKN saying Pat Riley joining us on South Beach Sessions. So
I'm worried about all of this. I've been talking. There's a new producer to South Beach Sessions for a while now. He's done a great job with it. Matthew Kugler. He doesn't want anybody to see him. He's got a big forehead.
It's true.
And he could be in a barbershop quartet. But he's one of the rare producers around here, and we do not make many of them in many years, who don't want to be on camera, don't want to be at a microphone. Like, we don't make that kind of producer. I don't even recognize that kind of producer.
I didn't know they existed.
I don't know what that is. And so, but all he wants to do is like, no, let's make South Beach Sessions more intimate. And here, this is the part I actually want to put in front of the group in a serious way, in a humanizing way, because I'm a bit embarrassed by my flopping around this week on. I really like and admire these people. And I would say in the history of my career here in South Florida, there have only been 3 people who have really shown me what it looks like at the inside of sports excellence. Like, really shown me as a curious sports reporter, oh, that's what it takes. That's what it takes. It's Ricky Williams, it's Pat Riley, and it's Jimmy Johnson.
So not David Sampson.
Not David Sampson. No, not David Sampson. David Sampson is someone who could build a stadium in South Florida where no one can do business and not have a cost overrun and not have a delay in South Florida with all our development problems, because he is a business beast. But no is the answer to your question. Consistent sports excellence is not something I got from him. I got it from Jimmy Johnson, I got it from Ricky Williams, and I got it from Pat Riley, showing me the innards of things. And so I trust those people because I know you got to understand this part. This part is, that world is more competitive than anyone listening to this can possibly understand about how hard it is to compete with other people over money. And you've got to be more willful than competitionaholics about how you get it more money. And so when it comes to criticizing Pat Riley, even though the standings do it for us, like, I just don't want to pile on with criticism that to me just seems obvious.
And are you saying within this interview there is the opportunity to pile on by taking something out of context to help further our own agenda?
I wanted to do this interview as something that might be the last interview I do with Pat Riley. That's what I'm trying to do with South Beach Sessions.
See, you're doing it for the internet. We have just killed Pat Riley.
Yeah. $50 fine.
You know, you mentioned Matthew Kugler, and I agree. It is a rarity in this industry when you have a producer that doesn't want to be on camera at all, because every producer just ends up being so hungry, and if you give them a little, they try to take the entire mile. And Matthew Kugler is just cut differently. He is someone that all producers should look at and admire.
I had a weird interaction with him yesterday that I will tell you about in a second. But is Taylor trying to get on because we've got Bill Belichick news? There are some suspicions around Bill Belichick, and I don't know if you guys are interested in this. Are you watching what's happening with Belichick, where he is now already having to insist, I'm not going to be the Raiders coach. I'm going to be at North Carolina. He's been there 5 minutes, and he's got to insist immediately, hey, they're not immediately. How inefficient is this by the NFL? You could have had Belichick at any time, and all of of a sudden now he's available, and so you're willing to take a $10 million buyout a month later.
Where did you get headphones?
Belichick's not leaving.
Oh, wow. Exclusive.
Thank you. Well, he's been on top of this more than anybody in the country. There's been no reporter somehow better than the guy under Mike Ryan's desk. I don't know how that's happened. He's been ahead of everybody on this. What do I do with the South Beach session, though? I was telling Kugler, I don't think it should run this week. I don't think that I think the timing should make it wait for.
This is the timing you want, because again, Dan, I know personally it might put you in a bit of a bind if someone takes something out of context from this interview and it becomes a whole thing, but it really helps us. And also, Pat's probably going to do that on his own anyway and spin it into, I meant to do that.
You should clickbait this thing up. Yeah. You should be like, Riley speaks. That's how you put it out.
No, I think, Dan, the only way for you to accomplish what it is that you want out of this is put the interview out there, do what you're doing now of letting people know what the context is. We don't put out any of the clips that could be virally decontextualized, as Amin would say, but we let everybody else do that. And then by getting ahead of it today, you can yell at everyone tomorrow for doing the thing you know they're going to do today.
That benefits us.
Sure does.
Why are you talking in that sing-song way?
That's how I talk.
Oh, I thought you meant Mike.
It felt a bit, I guess I just...
Some of the great talents.
It's just not liking me. I get it.
No,
your voice sounds like music is what he's trying to say.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Congrats.
You do something with your eyebrows?
You guys keep saying that I don't like Jeremy, and I understand that I have been a little extra mean to Jeremy. The only reason I have been extra mean to Jeremy is because he's trying to climb through the gauntlet that only Chris Whittingham has ever been allowed to climb through, which is, I am expert broadcasting prodigy. Let me show you how prodigious I am at broadcasting. There's only been one of those around here in our history for all the producers who love to talk at the microphones around here.
I really wanted you to say, you guys keep saying I don't like Jeremy, and the only reason why you think I'm mean to Jeremy is because I don't like Jeremy. I wanted you to end with that one. Like, yes.
I wish I had done that.
You guys keep saying this, and you're right. I despise him. I loathe him.
It's not. No, it's not in. Well, it's in some ways true, but it's not. In most ways, it is not true. I still don't know what to do though. With Greg Cote's got opinions here, and I want to tell you what the size of something is in basketball when it gets the soap opera dramatics involved. When the wide receiver Tyreek Hill has problems with the Dolphins, was recently rated the number one player in the NFL, was by consensus like the most exciting live wire any of us have seen on a field, dwarfed by what we're presently talking about, which is, oh, McDaniel doesn't have the heft Riley does. The Dolphins don't have the heft the Heat do to make the disgruntled off, as Greg Cote is calling it, something that makes Tyreek Hill dwarfed by the other controversy.
Right. Yeah, and also the whole hierarchy of the Dolphins, they don't have a Pat Riley. You know, Stephen Ross is not Pat Riley. Certainly Chris Greer isn't. And so whatever Tyreek Hill wants, he's going to end up getting. If he wants to be traded, they're not going to get much for him. Everybody's thinking, oh, they'll get a first-round draft pick. No, they won't. They'll be lucky to get a third-round draft pick.
They won't.
For a 30-year-old.
love that character. I've loved that character of your dad since he was... Your dad was a young man once, and that sarcastic character that talks out of the side of his mouth with, no, they won't. I've been watching his work for 50 years.
Yeah, it's
50
true, though.
years I've seen that guy.
It's true, though. The market, and frankly, the market value for Jimmy Butler isn't great either. Amin could speak better to that than I would, but he's 35. Tyreek Hill is 30, coming off a bad season. Isn't as fast as, by my eye, isn't as fast as he was 2 years ago. And so what's the market value for these guys? I know I'm off on a tangent here, but to have these two guys in a disgruntled off at this stage in their career is a little bit weird. You know, and Tyreek is like, well, I'm used to making the playoffs. Well, they didn't make the playoffs because their starting quarterback missed 6 games. So, you know, factor that in. And you didn't have a great season either. And as far as Jimmy Butler, what Riley gave Jimmy Butler was good enough to make 2 finals in an Eastern Conference Finals in 5 years. So he didn't give him nothing. But Riley did what Riley did, which is he missed another whale. You know, he keeps going whale hunting and missing whales. The latest, I guess, was Lillard. And so Pat Riley deserves the criticism you gave him the other day, and I wish you hadn't walked it back with that clarification, because it's not all Butler. It's not all Butler here.
This is the thing that I would say to all of you, and please, gruntled's not a word, right? Because disgruntled is a great word, but it's not a word to be gruntled.
It's funny, it has become a word.
Gruntled?
Yeah, it's a word now, but it's an after-the-fact word that was invented and actually acknowledged to fit disgruntled.
Is that right?
Yeah.
So gruntled became a word because of the popularity of disgruntled?
Yeah.
Because people were saying disgruntled, and then we're asking, where's the gruntled?
Yeah. If you're in a good mood, you're
gruntled.
You're gruntled.
Yeah,
you're feeling gruntled.
It is in the dictionary.
What is
in
it?
good humor, happy, contented. Once he was gruntled.
But wait a minute, you're saying the word comes from disgruntled?
Yes. I believe that originally gruntled was not a root word for disgruntled. But after the fact, it became so. Because if you have a dis, you got to have something that's the opposite of dis.
Yes.
You know.
It's just like disappointed. You know, when I'm not disappointed, I'm appointed.
That's correct. I don't think appointed became a word, though, after disappointed, the way that Greg is alleging that gruntled came after disgruntled.
When I have discretion, Dan is always like, "Me, you don't have any discretion on the show." So what he wants me to have is crestion.
Craig was right. Disgruntled indeed came first, is according to ChatGPT.
Oh, okay.
Well, I mean,
it must be so then.
If our overlord says so.
Merriam-Webster.com says the same thing. 1830 for disgruntled, 1904 for gruntled. First
Yeah.
known
Yes.
uses.
That makes sense.
And indeed a back formation for disgruntled.
Yeah. After the fact.
Dan, I don't want you to be dismayed. I want you to be made.
Okay, you keep doing that the entirety of the show if you like. I'd be happy if that were your only contribution today. I'm dying to talk to Lucy about her frolicking at Texas with Ricky Williams. Yes, because I haven't seen the footage. I'd like to see the footage of you. We did some things that got us in trouble with some people. I was dealing with things during the break because of what we did at Texas. And so I wanted to talk to you about your college football wanderings. We appear to have a pretty big game tonight where you might want to keep an eye just generally on we're very close to having to walk back some James Franklin stuff because there aren't very many good teams left.
I've never said anything about him.
Or it gets worse, which is kind of what we're.
Well, but he's already fixed some things, hasn't he? Like James, whatever the reputation of James Franklin is, it's been improved here, even if he loses tonight with a boneheaded decision at the end, just because he's won a couple of games that people are going to remember.
He still does that weird little run. So, like, until he stops doing that, I can't trust him.
Guys, all these things are distractions. James Franklin is only going to keep the tractions. He's going to get rid of the distractions.
And he was right, by the way. Franklin was right. Teams should be in conferences. You shouldn't be allowed to say, "Oh, we're in Notre Dame. We're so big. We're bigger than college football itself. We can be independent if we want to be." It shouldn't, But the problem is the NCAA no longer has any strength. Nobody's running college football, and so they get to do whatever they want because they're Notre Dame.
Yeah, but that's all the way that it's always been, and they negotiated that great deal for themselves, and now you want to take away their freedom. Why? Because James Franklin says so?
No, because that's the uniformity of college football is everybody's in a conference.
No, but it doesn't have to be like that. They've got their freedom. They're more valuable than everyone else. They act like it because they are.
Okay, let's everybody be independent then. Let's do away
that's
with
fine.
conferences.
Negotiate that for yourselves the way Notre Dame did.
Okay.
We should.
Right.
Seriously.
Might go that way.
Like, why?
Might actually go to full-fledged independence. There was an opportunity here if the ACC had foresight or strong leadership. They're absent of both. But in 2020, when Notre Dame was out of options in the COVID year, they joined the ACC for just 1 year. And the ACC allowed for a situation in which Notre Dame got all the benefit of that, got to host an entire football season. Otherwise, they wouldn't have. And they got nothing in return, including $0 from a team that is basically an ACC team making it to the CFP.
Wait a second. Are you saying that they're going to dismantle the conferences and just have mantled independence?
It's crazy. Crazy. I would say so. Like something that Chip Kelly said, I believe a few years ago, was that he kind of thinks college football is heading in the direction of where Notre Dame is. Because although Notre Dame is independent in football, they have conference allegiance in other sports. They're in the ACC for basketball and a couple other sports. I believe they're in the Big Ten for hockey. So like it does sort of seem like a natural move to take football out of the conference equation. But if you look specifically at the playoff, once you advance to the next round, you bring X amount of money for your conference back to the Big Ten, back to the ACC. Yes, well, not the ACC. They're not bringing anything back, but the SEC is bringing stuff back. Notre Dame gets that all for themselves, where Texas makes it to the playoff. They're in the last four standing, and they're sharing that money with Arkansas and Mississippi State. Notre Dame gets that whole thing for themselves, and it's just not fair. It's not fair.
Yeah, you guys are funny this way because I will tell you, I have no good feelings for Notre Dame, not a one.
Really?
But you guys out here trying to take away their freedom because they're better at the business of college football than everybody else, and they've turned themselves into a brand that doesn't even have to be good in order to be more valuable than everyone else. Like, it's unbelievable that, Greg, that's the place where now, we got to be careful with all this freedom everyone has. Uniformity is the way to go because James Franklin says that it's not fair that Notre Dame gets to be more Notre Dame than everyone else.
Mm-hmm. Folks, did you know that sleep is one of the most important parts of recovery? Whether you're a pro athlete or just looking to crush your day, getting that right kind of rest is key, and that's where Sleep Number smart beds come in. Since 2018, Sleep Number has partnered with the NFL to help elite athletes get the quality sleep they need to perform at their best. In fact, 80% of NFL players sleep on a Sleep Number smart bed. Tough workout? The Sleep Number smart bed can be adjusted to set your needs. Firmer one night, softer the next, giving you the ultimate recovery boost. And now let's talk about those sweaty, sleepless nights. The new Climate Cool Smart Bed adjusts up to 15 degrees cooler on either side with significantly designed cooling programs to keep you comfortable and undisturbed. Sleep Number Smart Beds don't just help you sleep, they learn how you sleep, providing personalized insights to help you get even better rest. Why choose a Sleep Number smart bed? So you can choose your ideal comfort on either side. And now, it's the lowest price of the season on the top-selling i8 smart bed, your best savings plus special financing, limited time. Shop at a Sleep Number store near you. Sleep Number, official sleep and wellness partner of the NFL. See store or sleepnumber.com for details.
The Dan Le Batard Show with Stu Gatz is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January feels like a fresh start. 365 blank pages, just waiting for your story to be written. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist. Ready to revise the parts of your story holding you back. Life isn't about New Year's resolutions that disappear by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your life. Therapy can help you do just that. Therapy isn't just for the big traumas. It's for anyone who wants to grow, heal, and thrive. With BetterHelp, therapy is convenient and affordable. It's fully online. You can access it anywhere, anytime. BetterHelp connects over 5 million people with a network of 30,000 licensed therapists, specialized, experienced, and ready to help. If it's not a right fit, you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
Yeah, sure thing. Hey, you sold that car yet?
Yeah, sold it to Carvana.
Oh, I thought you were selling to that guy.
The guy who wanted to pay me in foreign currency, no interest, over 36 months? Yeah, no. Carvana gave me an offer in minutes, picked it up, and paid me on the spot. It was so convenient.
Just like that.
Yeah.
No hassle.
None.
That is super convenient.
Sell your car to Carvana and swap hassle for convenience. Pickup fees may apply.
Dan Le Batard.
What do I got here? I got a Magnum condom. We won't get that out.
That's shocking.
Stugatz.
Here's a picture of Christopher when he was like 3 years old.
Right next to the condom.
Yeah.
As a subtle reminder.
Yeah.
Never forget. This is the Dan Le Batard Show with the Stugatz.
I'm loving this discussion. Less cushion, more discussion.
I'm not trying to, I know that Greg's trying to take away their independence. I'm not. I'm just taking the opportunity to slam the ACC for bad leadership.
This is the fight in America right now. Somebody wants to be about religion. Somebody wants to take away their independence. It's not just college football. It's all of America right now. Like, what are you doing, Greg? I understand. If you want to hate Notre Dame, hate Notre Dame. Man, look, the thing that I want most on college football for whatever the championship game is, you're going to give me another Alabama that I can root against? Mm-hmm. You're going to give me the option that I can root for somebody and root against somebody? Put Notre Dame in that game. That brand remains more valuable than on all the other brands. Remains that way. SEC, everything, amazingly, at least in part because it's not beholden to any of these conferences. They don't have to split things 6 ways.
Is it hard for you to hate Notre Dame knowing how hot Marcus Freeman is? No. Because when Brian Kelly was there, it was so easy. But now that they've got a hottie, it kind of changes things a little bit. It's been tough because I'm like, you're so hot, I want to like you, but Notre Dame.
Very hot. He's also dyeing his hair now.
Oh, he definitely is.
Yeah, he's dyeing his hair now.
Yeah, the Beijing was bad. I mean, didn't he have a terrible Beijing? I think we can find
phones
that.
on the TV can tend to make things look worse, but yes, he's dyeing his hair.
There is a difference between Beijing and dyeing your hair.
Right.
To me, dyeing your hair is when you've got gray hair and you're turning black. Beijing is like, I don't have hair, and I'm trying to give the illusion of hair.
No, he's got a lid on him, and the hairline isn't bad. He's just dyeing it to keep it looking young.
I've got to be honest. I didn't know what any of that was. I didn't even know the name Beijing as a hair treatment thing until Carlos Boozer ran onto the court, and it was just clear that he had chapapote. It was just asphalt. It was just It was just on his head. It looked like it had been painted in a way that
crudely.
Not just crudely, in a way that made me say to myself, whoever Carlos Boozer's barber is, that person is gonna have eternal shame about what he just did to Carlos Boozer.
He didn't have a barber. He had a painter. Someone with painter's tape right here, and then the paint roller in the paint, and then roll it up.
If you're Carlos Boozer in that spot, you have to play that entire basketball game with a baseball cap on.
Whoever did that certainly touched up Jeremy's eyebrows today. Something is going on.
Well, not just Jeremy's. We got an eyebrow problem in the shipping container. Roy, I still look at Roy and I still see that there's half an eyebrow missing because he had a haircut and he clipped an eyebrow. That doesn't happen to folks who just do Beijing.
It doesn't happen to folks that aren't trying to do something to their eyebrows already. Like, what is the story behind this? Was he trying to do something on his head and it slipped and whoops?
I'm worried about all of this, right? Because he just said recently that he's taken up skating. That also involves blades. I don't like the idea of Roy around things that are sharp and now...
You're cool with it?
You cut your eyebrow while...
I'm less cool with it, honestly. You're so bumbling.
Roy, when you're cutting your hair, I've never heard of anybody accidentally cutting their eyebrow while cutting their hair. I've never heard of such a thing.
When you are going towards your forehead on the side of your head, it slipped.
I don't know, man. No. This story just doesn't make sense to me. I don't see like whoops. Like,
well, you're not cutting your own hair, Mike.
The old slip.
When I try to manicure my own eyebrows, I might make a mistake. So I think that perhaps the intention here wasn't the side of the head. The intended target was indeed the eyebrow, and someone just overplayed it.
No, I believe Roy, because at first I was kind of wondering, like, how do you do it? But now that you mentioned it's back to front, he's going back to front, and then it slips.
But you just get distracted and keep going? Like, hey, what was I thinking about?
Well, it's not that. It's because it's that turn. If you don't take that turn well, you slip, and it goes forward, and what ends up happening is you destroy your eyebrow. And what Roy wanted to do was he wanted to destroy his eyebrow. He didn't want to destroy it.
That's true. Destroy.
Are you guys going to stop?
Yeah.
The three of you have done this now, where he does it. It's obvious that it's all he's doing, and all of you go
It's
crazy.
Fun.
The three of you have reacted to him. He's surprising you each time when it's clear that everything he's saying is meant to just get to that joke, and somehow Lucy, Mike, and Greg have stopped for a moment to respect the joke and then move on. But I don't understand why it is that you can't just keep talking.
Because it's worth acknowledging. It's a bit that he's created.
No, but it's funnier if no one acknowledges it. It's funnier if he just keeps...
okay. That's one way to look at it.
What? He shouldn't keep stopping the show because, clever.
That's one way to look at it.
Clever. You're still doing that thing.
Yeah. It's a beautiful bit that he created. I want to give him acknowledgement for it.
Okay.
It's a beautiful bit. By the way, a quick aside, nobody needs eyebrows. Okay? I brought this up once. I brought this up once before on the show. I challenged the entire show to shave off their eyebrows.
Then you do it right now.
Well, who's with me?
I'm not.
Apparently, I am.
Shave your eyebrows right now.
I would
if you don't
do it
think
if
you need
everyone
them.
else did. Except,
well, no.
How about if just Roy does it with you?
If you think everyone should do it, then you should have no problem being like, I'll just do it on my own. I'll start the trend.
Okay, lead us. The brows would grow back.
Then do it. Shave your eyebrows.
I would if I didn't have to go to the Orange
no
Bowl
one's
tonight.
disputing that it would grow back.
I don't want to sit in the press box and be made fun of because I don't have any eyebrows.
No one's disputing that it wouldn't grow back. You're claiming that it would look fine.
People wouldn't even notice. I could walk around with no eyebrows.
They would notice.
They wouldn't even notice.
Have you seen Voldemort? He doesn't have eyebrows.
Well, no, no one should.
No one's disputing that you wouldn't have eyebrows.
Should.
But some people are puting.
No one should.
It's the most useless body part. Come on.
Someone should be puting it. That's all I'm saying.
I have a solution here. Okay, I follow a lot of special effects makeup artists on TikTok, and I think that with a glue stick and some concealer could make it look like you don't have eyebrows.
All right, let's do it right now.
Can someone get me a glue stick?
Let's go ahead. All right,
that matches his skin tone.
We're going to plan on doing this. I also want to see if we have any takers. Maybe Kugler out there is a taker. If anyone, Greg's just looking. If one person is willing to do it, Greg says he's willing to do it. I don't know if we have any tailors, any people who are so eager to be on camera that anyone out there is willing to shave their eyebrows. At Fuentes, is there a Fuentes in the house willing to shave eyebrows?
You offered camera time to Mike Fuentes.
Fuentes just gave me the eyes. I think he's in.
Okay, I'm just telling everybody in the other room, if I have one taker on shaved eyebrows.
Wait a minute now. I already explained. I work among people tonight. I got to go to an Orange Bowl game. Okay,
You can't make the argument. No one cares. No one needs them. No one should have them.
True.
I can't go out tonight looking like that.
Well, because I'm an iconoclast. No one agrees with me. I'm alone on a mountaintop. If de rigueur was no eyebrows, I'd be right at the front of the line.
Greg, normally I would have sympathy for you, but you're the one who opened this door. You're the one who brought it to us, and now you're trying to dissuade us. Stop trying to dissuade us. Just sway us.
Dan did it.
We got you. It would have been a lot funnier if you had him.
Sure.
No, wait a minute. I'm laughing at how bad it was.
That one was so obvious.
It's his cadence.
It's the chair. It's very heavy-handed.
It's the sing-song and the lack of subtlety from the chair. And I'm still reeling from Greg Cote said no one needs eyebrows. Right. And I've never seen Lucy that indignant. Lucy, in the corner of that room where Billy usually hides in support of Greg Cote, we got an entirely opposite viewpoint on opposite day from Lucy looking at you and saying you're out of your head saying we don't need our eyebrows.
Okay, and I challenged Lucy to explain why she needs eyebrows.
Because they make me look good and they frame my face. Have you seen what happens when someone goes Pamela Anderson on their eyebrows? They look like a completely different person. There's a reason in every sitcom ever, there's always one weird episode where someone burns their eyebrows off and they look so ridiculous. You need them to look nice.
That's the standard thought process, I guess.
You just keep being like, okay, I don't need eyebrows. And then we're giving you the opportunity to say you don't need them, to shave them off, and you won't take it.
I don't know if Amin knows. I think he must know. As our basketball expert, I think Amin must know what I'm about to say here, okay? But I have watched the entirety that we've been talking about this, and Mike is like a pit bull being held by the neck because he knows that we have a photograph of former Knicks coach Mike Woodson, who had an eyebrow accident of some sort, and we can now put that on the screen for you because Amin is saying, no, that's not an accident. He shaved his eyebrows on purpose because he erred in thinking exactly what Greg Cote thinks.
No,
good-looking man.
He made a bet with his team. Hey, if we do this, if we hold the whatever to under 100 points, I'll shave my eyebrows off. And so the Hawks, who at the time weren't that good, did this miraculous thing on court, and so a man of his word. I believe that's when he also shaved his head, because remember, Mike Woodson used to have a head of hair, kind of like Stephen A. Smith's, receding hairline, but like thick hair where it was. And he shaved everything off, including his eyebrows. That's a lost bet right there.
Greg, I think you're underestimating how much of your facial expressions come from your eyebrows, because you lose your eyebrows and then you permanently look like shocked the whole time because your eyebrows make up such a part of, like, look, your eyebrows, you're like burring your eyebrows right now. Like, it's making a face.
Okay, but the eyebrows are not what furrow.
Then shave.
You're just yapping, and you're not doing anything.
Okay.
You're just yap, and you won't shave your eyebrows off. Be a man.
I'm going to start a browless movement. I'm going to...
without doing it?
I'm going to be the king of the browless movement. Okay? I'm not prepared to start right now because I got to work tonight.
So tomorrow?
It could be.
You see that?
It could be.
It sounds like you're dissenting when you should be senting.
I am going to tell you, okay, that I just saw Amin, okay? Amin ended the last thing he said with lost bet. He made a serious point. And then the show moved in a different direction, and he made a face and got really angry with himself because he didn't have another shitty joke lined up. He thought he was going to go the entire segment making the shitty joke to end every point, and he got mad at himself for not having one there.
Yeah, well, you know what? Walt Disney didn't create his empire in a day, Dan. He was knee first before he was Disney. No, don't push that button. Don't you dare.
Major penalty, 5 minutes, screaming comedy.
You're always so damn strict. Why don't you be district for a little bit?
You know what?
The fanfare he was met with when that door opened.
I'm going to...
I want none of those people to have eyebrows during the
Yes!
break. None of them.
All those
Let's do
disembodied.
it.
That was good.
What about the embodied ones?
No.
You can join them. But don't shave off those beautiful eyebrows of yours today. I don't know what it is you're doing, pal, but I'm on you.
Lucy, please, I am somebody who is an expert at creating conflict between chemicals in our environment. I learned it from Pat Riley. It's how it is that you make people sharper, especially Jeremy Teshay's, who I've never liked. You clearly have an objection in general to Greg Cote coming out here and being like, doesn't matter, I'll do it, I got to work tonight, I'm not going to do anything, it's just bluster and nonsense. It's not, your words are not in any way meaningful, they don't mean anything.
You can't just say that, like, oh, everyone looks better with eyebrows, I'm going to start the no eyebrow movement, and then say, well, I'm going somewhere and I don't want to be embarrassed by how I'll look, so I'm not going to shave my eyebrows, completely proving my point that you think you need eyebrows.
No, because society tells me that I do. Like,
well, then don't listen and shave your eyebrows.
Okay, first...
Maybe shave one?
No, that'd be ridiculous. I mean, to shave one eyebrow would be ridiculous. I would feel off balance. I'm big into symmetry.
That's ridiculous.
I have to have symmetry in my life. I may shave my eyebrows on the Greg Cote Show podcast. And
for your own gain.
Put it on our YouTube channel.
There it is. There it is.
I'm thinking about
finally,
that.
Okay, there it is. Now we've gotten somewhere.
First, I got to research how long does it take for brows to grow back.
I'm on it.
I think it's a bad idea in general.
You'd look good without eyebrows, by the way.
I would not.
Yeah, you would.
No, my face needs them. They're like accents over my.
It looks like an Enya.
They're a crutch.
I'm seeing 3 to 4 months to grow back eyebrows fully.
Oh boy.
Yeah, you without eyebrows. Eyebrows are probably your signature feature. You don't think so?
No, hell
I think
no.
he's either known for a beard or eyebrows. He's got unique eyebrows.
Nobody's been known for their eyebrows since Einstein.
Eugene Levy.
That's not a bad suggestion.
It's a great suggestion.
Yeah, it's
actually.
a great suggestion.
Wow, Mike's been waiting all his life to be able to just flip over that Eugene Levy card at exactly that moment. And everyone put down their sword.
I could have gone Groucho Marx, but I feel like Eugene Levy was inspired.
But everyone, do you know how rare it is to get generations of Codys to just back off? You got us with the eyebrows.
I also like that was my contemporary reference, Eugene Levy.
Yeah, and then you went to Marx.
I could have gone Julia Fox. The absence of eyebrows is also an eyebrow.
Anthony Davis.
Well, that's just one eyebrow. He's famous for having one eyebrow.
Unibrow.
I mean, don't play a semantics game. That was a good answer. Good answer.
Cara Delevingne, but you guys probably don't know who she is.
No, I know who she is. She's
I know
beautiful.
you know
Yeah,
who she is, but I don't think you guys know who she is.
Okay, that's not necessary.
Do you know who she is?
Unneeded.
No, hell no.
Well, then do you
Answer
know
the
who she
question.
is?
Unneeded.
Answer
I'm
the
not going to
question.
take a quiz.
Well said.
That was very aggressive, Lucy. Okay, we were talking about his eyebrows. I don't need a pop culture course
Zachary
from you.
Quinto.
Where are you and Greg on this feud? Because we're not going to get any payoff. We're just going to sit here and fart around and talk about it and then not actually get a payoff.
Fart around.
Scorsese.
Disgusting.
Really?
Should be more gusting.
The Dan the Batard Show with Stu Gatz is sponsored by BetterHelp. Every January feels like a fresh start. 365 blank pages, just waiting for your story to be written. In 2025, maybe you're ready for a plot twist. Ready to revise the parts of your story holding you back. Life isn't about New Year's resolutions that disappear by February. It's about picking up the pen and becoming the author of your life. Therapy can help you do just that. Therapy isn't just for the big traumas. It's for anyone who wants to grow, heal, and thrive. With BetterHelp, therapy is convenient and affordable. It's fully online. You can access it anywhere, anytime. BetterHelp connects over 5 million people with a network of 30,000 licensed therapists, specialized, experienced, and ready to help. If it's not a right fit, you can switch therapists at any time at no extra cost. Write your story with BetterHelp. Visit BetterHelp.com/DLB today to get 10% off your first month. That's BetterHelp, HELP.com/DLB.
Okay, guys, it says here I'm supposed to tell you about the refreshing tropical lime flavor of Mountain Dew Baja Blast. But what does refreshing tropical lime mean exactly? Allow me to describe it in a way that my fellow DraftKings players will understand. Mountain Dew Baja Blast tastes like a buzzer-beating three-pointer to cover the spread, nailing a multi-leg parlay, setting the perfect daily fantasy lineup. It's like hitting an underdog money line. And I want you to know that feeling too. So make your picks and then grab some tropical lime flavored Mountain Dew Baja Blast for you and your buds. Available wherever refreshing beverages are sold.